Okay, guys,
Good
we are here.
morning.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone, so much for taking the time on your Friday. We are here with the amazing Jordan Liam Davies. Um, so, just so you guys know, Jordan is actually in Mexico right now for a friend's wedding. So, yeah, so Jordan, thank you so much. I so appreciate you being with us today. I I don't want to hype you up too much. I think that you just have such good nuggets. And I'd like to start off with you sharing with everyone, how did you get into real estate? What started this whole idea, you coming from England, and just tell us about your journey, how long you've been in the business and how it started.
So this year I've been in the business 10 years, and originally when I came to the States, it was to teach soccer. And then I just started watching TV, and I started watching like real estate shows on TV, and then I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I got my real estate license. That's pretty much it, you know.
Really?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what happened, to be honest. I had no thought of going into it before that, but just watching TV shows and then decided to go into it, and seemed to work out. So yeah.
Definitely worked out. So Jordan, that's actually the first time I'm hearing that, and that's pretty great. The one thing that I've seen over the years of just getting to know you, building our friendship and partnership, is that you have such humility in all your success. You're so down to earth. To share with everyone kind of like your levels of like when you started and what the breakthroughs were for you, because I know that we've got a mix of brand new agents, seasoned agents, and I want people to really see kind of like the full picture on how you started to where you are now on your 10th year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So funnily enough, when I started in real estate, I was 22. I didn't know much of anything, to be honest, and I was learning everything. And it taken me 2 years I think 18 months or 2 years to close my first deal, which isn't for everybody, but for me it was. And then I was just doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of database building, a lot of shadowing of successful agents in that time. And then after the 2 years, I hit one deal, I hit another, and each year just kept going, 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 going. But it took a lot of cold calling, a lot of database management, a lot of self belief that it was going to work out. Because 2 years without closing a deal was a long time. Even though in between I still had my job as teaching soccer and stuff. So, but once one deal came, the second one came really quickly after it. It just kept picking up after that, snowballing. So.
Mhm. And I know that you actually have a really cool story that I'd like you to share. And it was there was a friend or someone that had reached out to you and they had wanted you to sell a townhome, and I believe it was somewhere in Encino. And I'd love you to share how you know the story. Yeah, this is a fantastic story, and it just kind of snowballed into something much bigger. And you're very humble, and I can see that everyone can see that knows you. But I really would love for you to share that story.
Yeah, it is quite a funny story actually. So I met this girl on Tinder. That's pretty much how the story. And we became friends, and we ended up just following each other on Instagram like you do these days. And about a year and a half after we met, she's like, "Hey, I got a friend who wants to sell their townhouse, and do you want to speak to her?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I met her friend, ended up selling a townhouse, but her friend had a husband who I really hit it off with too, and he was like, "Hey, I got a friend who has a house in Hidden Hills. Um, he had a flood in it. He needs to sell it fast to like an investor." And I was like, "Okay." And this was probably like 7 years ago. And so then I went to the house in Hidden Hills. I met his friend, um, and then I had to find an investor for the house. It was a fixer in Hidden Hills. So I was like, where can I find a fix? Where can I find some investors? And I went on Craigslist and I posted an ad on Craigslist, and these two guys turned up, and long story short, they didn't buy the house, but we connected, and I've sold probably about $50 to $60 million of real estate with those guys now. So just from that one lead that I procured through Tinder, I guess. Thanks, Tinder. So I ended up stepping stones to these guys, and they become good friends of mine now, and they do a lot of projects, and I ended up probably selling between $50 and $60 million worth of real estate with them since then. So, and the amount of business that's come from just having those properties, having those deals, has probably led to a lot more other stuff too. So you just never know. And I think that comes back again, like people talk about their database, Constant Contact or KW, whatever you have, which is great. But like your social media is a database in itself. You go out on the weekend, you meet somebody now. They might even ask you a number. They may say, let's just follow each other on Instagram. Let's just be friends on Facebook. And if you can follow and have as many friends on there too, and be active, those can be leads as well. You stay top of mind. You post. You remind them, hey, I'm in real estate, but I also travel. I also do this. I also do that. But I sell real estate too. And they just reach out. They reach out all the time. So yeah, that was that story right there.
Awesome. So in the 5 years that I've known you, you're always like very calm, cool, collected, very humble. Do you ever have a moment, or have you had moments in your career where you felt, I mean, I know that you had mentioned earlier, it was like, what, 2.5 years before you got your first deal?
Yeah, like 18 to 24 months, I think, something like that.
Okay. So have you had moments where you were like, I don't know if this is going to work? And what was that breakthrough for you that just kept you going? Who inspires you to keep going?
Good question. So yeah, when I first started, I had that thought all the time, all the time. But I was like, I don't know, I really wanted to make it work, and I knew like there's no such thing as a quick buck sometimes, and you got to like work it. It's a business, right? Like no business overnight, like goes to the stars. So I've realized like it takes time, it takes years sometimes, and just kept building it, working on it. I would always watch YouTube real estate videos and listen to what the guys say, and podcasts and stuff, and just stay tuned in with all that kind of thing. And in the end, it kept working. It kept working, and right now I seem to be getting like just good, consistent referrals in all the time, even though I still lead generate. But I've gone more into the investment side of stuff too. But the real reason, actually, which kept me going, is I always wanted to own rental property. Have passive income. That was really my why in real estate, to be honest. It wasn't necessarily the art of the deal or selling the house. It was more about selling property to buy rental property, to have passive income. That was really my thing. And I have two 4-unit properties in LA and one 5-unit property in LA, and I have a couple of properties out of state, as well as a house I live in now. So that's all I think about, is like buying the next rental property and doing that. So
yeah, and that is so impressive, Jordan, and it's so smart, because you're not only are you helping your clients with their real estate investments, but you're able to educate them and talk to them from an investor standpoint, because you actually are one. You're on that side too. And I mean, we know that there are a lot of agents that are in this industry, loving it, doing it, but they don't own any real estate. And it's not that you have to, but there is such value in that, and why not? So I know that's huge. Another thing that I'd like to talk to you about, and I know that you had mentioned this probably about a year ago when we had talked, when we were talking about this recent close that we had. I'd love for you to share the value in the new, specifically newer agents, or any agents at any level, the value in being newer and maybe being a little bit gun shy on a listing appointment, and bringing someone in that is more of a top producer that can really help seal the deal, so to speak, and get that listing. So in this case, you and I did one that recently just closed. I'd love for you to share how you did something similar, And if you could share the value in that so agents can understand that, yes, in hindsight, you would love all of your commission, but something is better than nothing. And it's better to bring someone in that you can learn from and grow with than to have this this feeling of just me.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important if you're a new agent, to get as much experience as you can. You're not reinventing the wheel, you know. You're basically plagiarizing what a lot of other people do. Yeah, you come up with your own ideas, you put your own spin on things, but you've got to be able to watch somebody else who has been there, done that, and who also you aspire to be like, and see how they do things. Because you're going to be like a sponge. You're going to absorb everything. You're going to learn everything, and the more you learn, the better you become at it. You know, and sometimes we don't really learn from our wins. We learn from our losses. You know, so sometimes it's tough. You'll lose stuff too, but in the process of that, it'll make you better, so you don't lose again. Um, but as far as like new agents go, I would say yeah, for sure. Like if you can find an agent to bring on a listing appointment with you, just to hear how they talk, how they interact, how they go through the escrow, go through the deal. That's really important too. So I think there's a lot of agents who want to do it themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But if it decreases your chances of possibly losing the listing, you should probably take someone on there with you. Because you have so much to learn from each deal. So it's very important to make sure you get the deal, close it, go through the transaction, rinse and repeat, same thing. So
Yes, absolutely. So what are I mean, obviously you like you were saying earlier, the real estate is something that you enjoy, but it's really to fund the investments that you're looking to buy and continuing to buy. But another love that you have is traveling. You're in Mexico right now. And you before that you were almost 30 days in Ghana. So what are some other things, I know that we all can just kind of get so laser focused in real estate, and that's all we're doing. What are some things that you do when things are getting a little bit, like maybe it's a transaction and things are looking like it's going to fall through? How do you kind of temper yourself during situations where maybe there's a hostile seller or buyer? What are some ways that you're able to diffuse those situations? And
yeah, in the beginning, I had some run-ins with some tough sellers, and I think over time you just learn how to manage people, and if you've got a difficult seller or a difficult buyer, and you understand that even going into it, that's just part of the job. I mean, people are going to be who they're going to be, but your job is just to make sure that transaction goes through, you know, not to get emotionally involved in or play up to their personality or anything like that. And even other agents sometimes, you could be in a transaction where, the other agent's in a bit of a pain, and you've just got to be able to manage the whole thing and do what's best for your client, even if they frustrate you and so on.
I love how you said that with a smile.
happens. It happens.
Everything.
It happens more than it happens. You get yeah. I mean, it happens quite a bit. But that's just people are high maintenance, so that's just part of the job. I think learning how to manage the people, because the transaction, the process is always the same. It's the people which make it difficult sometimes. So you've just got to be able to, if it's a client who likes to always be, updated every day, wants you to call them every day. They want to be given an evaluation of each showing. Who was it? How did it go? You just got to make sure that if you know how your client operates, to keep operating that way with them. That's pretty much that is probably the biggest part of when you do get transactions now is what clients like what, and so on.
So, Jordan, universally, what do you think are the key characteristics that agents should embody? I mean, obviously, you have finessed your way in this market, and you've got great relationships that you've built with your clients that are now sending you referrals. I'd love for you to just kind of share, what do you think, what makes Jordan Jordan? What do you think that you have that makes you so uniquely special to where you're able to have these connections where now you're getting referrals? Because I would love for everyone to reach a point where they're getting an abundance of referrals.
Yeah, good question. I guess I like to know a lot about things. I like to talk to people all the time. Um, you know, I'm interested in a lot of different topics on various subjects. So I just talk to a lot of people all the time, whether it's at the gym, where it's out and about, um, whether it's about crypto, stocks, um, real estate. Like I find like these things a lot of people like to talk about. Everybody likes to talk about real estate. They're interested. Like, oh, what do you think about this? Or, oh, investment property, or flipping, or what's the market doing? What's going on with rates? I feel like I like to talk about it. Like I like to talk to people about it. So whenever I'm out, like if someone wants to talk to me about real estate, I'm just happy to talk to them. Like I don't have to get like a anything from them. I just like to talk to them about it. Like even here at this wedding, we're all staying at this hacienda, and I've been talking to like a lot of different people about real estate all the time. Not because I'm trying to get a deal from them, just because I like to talk to them about it. So um, and we hit it off, then we get each other's social media, and then we like it just becomes a relationship. And I think that's probably my biggest reason right there. Is because like I just enjoy doing like talking to people
Mhm.
basically. So.
So it's the passion. They're seeing the passion in you. Got it.
Yeah, and I think like then I like to talk about what they're doing too, like listen to what they do, and I find like everybody likes to talk about real estate or crypto or stocks or just a variety of different subjects or traveling. Like these all seem to be things that like a lot of people seem to like talk about, and I love to talk about them too. So, yeah.
Mhm. And it would be safe to say, don't want to speak for you, that a lot of your clients have become good friends of yours, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. And not everybody wants to talk about this, but like I like to talk about politics with them too, like more on like just the general level of everything. And I think people have a general interest in talking about most stuff. As long as you're not too divisive on either side, it's good to have conversation about everything. But yeah, I
Hmm.
have clients now who are really good friends, because like I say, like
Hmm.
if like we like the same things, and that often happens, you meet clients where you like the same things, you become friends.
Right.
So
So one of the things, and there's been many things that I've observed, watching you over the years, and even in this most recent listing that we closed. Congratulations, Jordan and Nina.
hmm
Um, it was really nice to see you, and I would watch how you would talk to different clients as they would come in, and there's a calmness and ease about you that not I don't see this in many agents. I see it in you. I see it in my other partner Emilio, but it's very rare, and I feel like that's kind of you're just comfortable in who you are. There's no pretending. There's no facade. There's no, well, maybe if I'm more like this agent, I'm gonna get it. What you see is what you get, and you speak to everyone the same. You don't speak to this person because they're at this level. You treat everyone equally, and I really gotta say I admire that about you, and I think that I can see that you're very humble in like just who you are, and that's also contributes to, I'm sure, a lot of your success, is that you treat everyone the same. No one's different. um, so yeah, that's
yeah,
what I've observed, especially in this most recent listing.
yeah. Like it's funny because I'm not really hard on the sales aspect of trying to sell people. Like work with me, work with me, work with me. It's more like I like to click. Now, there's times like where I don't click with people, but I work with them anyway, just because it's a transaction, it's a deal. But I like to be able to work like with people like on a smoother level, you know, not so trying to always get their business. Like if we click, and normally it does. Like if I meet most people, I can like be able to vibe with them like mostly all the time, and so it's more of a casual sale than like something where I'm trying to like get their business. Even at an open house, it's like if you want to talk to me, I'll be happy to talk to you, but I'm not going to chase you around the house like trying to get your business. So
Hmm.
that's how I tend to operate with most things.
So what advice then, Jordan, would you have for agents? Agents that are maybe they've stepped away from real estate for a while to take care of kids or something personal that are now kind of coming back into the industry and are finding their way. I know that I felt a certain way when I started, and we all have our moments. So what advice would you give to agents to feel that confidence and really embrace like who they are? Because it really is about connecting. It really comes down to connecting. People want to work with people that they like.
Yeah, I would say you've got to be organized. You know, you got to be organized with your database because your database is your business, and then you got to be consistent because if you're not consistent, things just tend to tail off, or you let your business lapse, or you don't follow up, or so being organized and consistent is probably the two things. Once you got those two
Mhm.
down, and you're like, people were like, oh, I tried really hard for 6 months to make it work, or 3 months. It's like, yeah, that's true, but sometimes like things can happen in the first month, or the ninth month, or the 12th month. You just never know when it's going to click. So you got to be consistent
Mhm.
and organized until it does. Because everybody's different.
Mhm.
There could be a new agent
Mhm.
who gets 3 deals in their second month. There could be one that has to wait 7 months. But it will happen if you stay consistent and organized. So you just got to remember that. Stay
Got
positive
it.
too.
Positive, yes, very
Yeah.
important. And take vacations. So
Yes.
what's next for Jordan? What is next? What's happening?
Um. What is happening? All right. So yeah, I mean, like everything, like there's always a constant flow for me right now. So I have what escrows do I have? I have two escrows right now. Um, I had to recently do two leases, which I don't like doing, and you know, but I did that for
Love the
clients
honesty.
because yeah. So and I've got to help my client find a couple of properties when I get back. The investor I was talking
Mhm.
about, and yeah, lots coming. I got a couple of projects of my own I do with a friend of mine, so we're working on those because we also
Mhm.
do renovate houses ourselves now as well. So just a bit of everything going on. And I'm building an ADU as well right now, one of my properties too. So just a mixture of all different things going on. So everything's good.
Awesome. And so I'd love to open this up for questions. I don't know if we have any
Mm.
questions in the chat, but I'd love to see. It looks like we have something. We do not. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to either put it in the chat or unmute yourself. We've got some time left, and Jordan is an open book. You guys can also get his phone number. Feel free to call him all day today. Just kidding.
So yeah.
Hi, good morning. Hi,
Good
Jordan. Good
morning.
morning.
Good
Fellow
morning.
Brit here.
Ah, nice.
I'm from Bedford. I don't know if you know that area, but yeah, nice to meet
I
you.
do. I do know Bedford.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, my question to you is, where do you get most of your leads from?
As of right now, I get a lot of leads from my leads go, honestly, I get quite a few from Zillow. If you go on Zillow and you make an account, when you get a listing, it links your account to Zillow, or, your Zillow account to your listing, and they can just contact you directly. And if you got reviews on there, they can see who you are. It links it to your social media. So I get quite a lot of just leads through Zillow. I don't lead generate online like that. Most of my stuff's through referral right now. But before, leads would be through. I've paid for Zillow leads. I've paid for ZBuyer. I've done things in the past which have been pretty good. But like anything, once you get a lead, um, they may not be ready for like 6 months to buy. Or 12 months. You just never know. But social media too, honestly. Like social media, I have like so many people just reach out to me for questions about stuff. It may not even be directly, hey, I want to buy real estate. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? So social media is actually a good lead source because, like I say, when you meet somebody out and you just become friends with them, you may not get anything from them for like a year or two. But like if you're like following each other and they're reminded that you're always in real estate, when eventually they come around to buying or selling or have questions or their friends do, they may reach out. So um, yeah.
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan.
My name's
Oh,
Dave Powers, And I want to thank you for being on this call today. And I just have to tell you that I totally agree with what you say. I'm a big component to plug into the community and the network and just get out there. And you got to cast a wider net. You got to meet more people, shake hands. That's what it's about. And just talk about your passion, because the rest will follow. And Nina, I want to say congratulations on your closed sale. That is absolutely awesome. High five to you, and high five to the group being on this call today. But I just wanted to just a quick passing word, but thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jordan,
Hey, Jordan,
I wanted to just
so go ahead, Nina. I was going to
I'm
ask
just going to say this really quick, and then you're next, Emilio.
Yeah.
Jordan, this kind of goes back to what you were saying with the lead gen, that it can take sometimes 6 months to a year. Can you share with everyone, because I know that sometimes agents are looking for instant gratification. If you could share, just even with the Calabasas listing, how it did take a year, a little over a year actually, before we actually got it on the market. If you could just share that it is important to really stay top of mind and not let those clients slip through the cracks.
Yeah, and you did a great job by that with following up, by the way. And like, again, being organized, being consistent. If you think about, if you meet people 2 months ago or 3 weeks ago, like, we meet people all the time, and I can't remember who I met 2 months ago, but I'm sure I met people that I haven't met before. And then you got to remind yourself to keep following up with them, right? And that becomes part of being organized, managing your database. It's like, okay, I spoke to this person on this date. I'm going to follow back up with them in a couple of weeks. Then once a couple of weeks comes, I follow up with them again. Then I'm going to follow up with them again at this date. So it's all about follow up and being present, and being there for them if they have any questions, like you did, Nina, with Faith. It was just like that, following up, letting them know you're there. And when the time came around, they called us, right? So you were just present, and we're just on top of it and didn't forget about them. That was all part of being organized and consistent with your business. So,
Good. Emilio.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask the exact same thing. So I will change it up.
Sorry.
Yeah. What's a day in the life of Jordan Davies? Just a quick snippet.
You know what I do actually now? Before I go to bed each night, I text myself like a bullet points of exactly what I have to do the next day. So I go through it like systematically when I wake up, but I do a bit of everything now. I got, like I say, the investment side, where fixing up properties and projects, working with clients to do my normal real estate buyers and sellers. And then I got obviously ADU that I'm building just for my rental property. So it's just a mixture of everything every day. And then also having time to just follow up with previous clients, socially, like I go out to have lunches and dinners. So like pretty consistently every day now, I'm pretty just doing something all the time. But I'm always making sure that I'm talking to everybody. Like, again, I'm just always talking to a lot of people, and just conversating and all that good stuff, and being social and so on. So that's pretty much what I do. I don't meditate or anything like that, though. Like, I don't like. I just that's what I pretty much do, is just get up every day, do the same. I guess to get up, I go through my list, which involves like calling people, putting stuff together, connecting the dots, all that good stuff.
Being authentic and genuine, I think, is key. Ray, do you give closing gifts? If so, what kind?
People who refer me business, I take care of them, so I have that. I always do. So I think when you close, even if someone who gave you the referral, especially if someone gives you a referral, and you got to take care of them, because they're going to give you more referrals, right? That's just good business right there. As far as a closing gift goes, it goes client by client. It depends who they are. Like, some people I'll get like a gift card to, like, whether it's Mastro's. Sometimes I'll give like Disneyland tickets. Depends each one. It's fun doing that too. Because I mean, through the escrow, through the deal, you learn what they like, you know, and so on. And honestly, this is a really big point too. Is like, you know, you can do an amazing job through the transaction, but how you once you close the deal, how you leave it with them is really important, you know. So it's like you can feel like you did an amazing job. Oh, I got you this house, or I saw this house for you, and I do so well. But like, if you give them something at the end to say thank you, that's honestly like what they remember the most, especially if it went well, you know. It's like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I didn't expect that, you know, you went above and beyond. And and they want to refer you. And when you give it to them, you say thanks, you know, feel referring me in the future, you know. I'm like, oh, of course. So, yeah.
You can drop that little seed in there. One of the things I also wanted to ask Jordan, and I know we're running just a little bit over. This is, I wanted to bring this up because I feel that there's value in every opportunity. There's potential more opportunities. So in the listing, on the listing side, we'll take Parkway as the most recent one. I'd love for you to share on this one, you know, the listing that just came about a few days ago, literally on Halloween, and how we have a follow-up second listing appointment with them to potentially now get the deal. I'd love for you to share kind of your way in that and how that happens. I mean, obviously you're communicating and getting to know them, building the rapport, but do you find that that's happening more on your listings where people are coming into the open house, you're building that rapport, expanding on it, and now you've got another deal on top of that listing? Because the idea would be every listing that you have, you're getting more listings and you're getting, you know, a ton of buyers, which we ended up getting a couple from that listing.
Yeah, I'll tell you another story recently as well. I had a call on one of my properties from a gentleman in Sherman Oaks, and this was down in Mar Vista. And he was like, "Hey, you know, I wanted to move down to Westchester, Mar Vista area because my daughter goes to school down there. I'm driving every day from Sherman Oaks. I want to see this property." So, all right, I'll let you in. I opened up the property. I showed him the house. This doesn't happen too much, like this kind of scenario, but it does happen. And he was like, "You know, this house isn't really for me, but can you get me into these 3 other properties? I want to see those." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So the next day I got him into 3 other properties right away, and we ended up writing an offer for like 2 million, and 30 days later it closed. Just quickly like that, like bam, 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 you know, like within like a week, all that just happened. And that was just from him just calling me. He was a very like A-type personality, like, I want to do this now, I want to do it fast. And I got on it with him straight away. Like, we hit it off. Next day I set up the showings for him. Like he really wanted to get in. So I pushed for it. And then just like that, you know, just quickly had a quick $2 million escrow because of that. So yeah, you just never know. But as far as we go with our new potential clients that we've been working with, they came into the open house. We spoke to them for like an hour and a half. They were older. They just were out looking and browsing, and we just hit it off. We weren't too pushy and salesy on them, but we got their business cards, we got their information. And ironically, you ran into them at your open house again last week or the week before, one of the two. We went on a listing appointment. This week. It was this week with them, and seems like we're going to get it. You know, it's a bit of a tricky situation, but I think we're going to get it and so on, and that'd be a nice one. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jordan, I want to thank you so much for everything. I know that, thank you, Veronica. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call today. Jordan, it was a pleasure as always. You are just killing it. And we're so excited to see what else is coming for you in the future. I will see you over the weekend. Go Lions.
Good.
Dave and Patty, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, Patty, it's so good to see all of you on the call. If you have any questions or if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
bye.
Jordan.
Bye. Thank you.